All right, hey everyone, this is Rudy, April the 5th, the year 2017. I wanted to make a correction in an assumption I made yesterday while reading Jason's letter. I was a bit tired, and he clarified it for me this morning. I want to clarify it for you guys. But that's his picture, that's his address. I pray you guys write him a letter. And here is his website that's run by his close family that loves him, American Political Prisoners Alliance.info. Let's go straight to his letter. So I wrote him a letter, and I said, hi, Jason. And I always put a Bible verse at the top because I always like to start off with the Bible. So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God, right? And we're trying to witness to Jason. But in any event, I put your letter with your responses, your articles about the LGBT glitter and the Christian identity for Americans arrived. I read it into YouTube. I said, I appreciate your candor and openness. One follow-up question, as there is a debate going on about one of your statements. You wrote, not a day goes by that I regret making that speech. He's the guy who just before he was sentenced, just before he was handed down sentencing, he gave an incredible speech. I mean, it was a very bold speech. And if you heard it, it was like, wow. And to say something like that just before you're sentenced for your supposed crime took an incredible amount of courage. I mean, boldness that, is off the charts. Anyway, he says, I wrote to him, I can't quite grasp the meaning. If it said every day that goes by, I regret making that speech, then that is very clear, but not at the beginning has my little pea brain all confused. Are you saying that you do or you do not regret making that speech? Jason writes back to me, the wording is confusing, but what I meant was I do not regret saying what I said. Unfortunately, I did not save a copy of what I sent you, so if this is repeated, then forgive me for what follows. It was the night before sentencing when I wrote it, and it just came to me after the lights were out. I actually wrote it by the orange floodlights on the light towers around the compound. At the county jail. It was inspired, I believe. The way it came out was so smooth and effortless, which is rare for me when it comes to writing, as the answer to the above question demonstrates. So, I think I made the wrong assumption yesterday. I thought he regretted making that speech. I mean, it went basic. I'm going to paraphrase it, and you guys need to go listen to it. It's in one of the YouTube videos. But basically, he says something to the effect of, he starts off by saying, I would like to apologize to all the victims of my crimes. And then he pauses and he looks around the courtroom. He says, excuse me, there are no victims of my crime. Only fools and idiots would convict me and sentence me to prison for something like this when there's no victim. He goes on, I mean, it's much more eloquent than what I just said, but to say something like that to the judge and in front of the courtroom in a public manner just before you're handed sentencing, and then they sentence him to 20 years in prison when there's no victim, I mean, he could have got a much lighter prison sentence. But Jason just decided he's going to say what's on his mind. Now, I suspect that his mother and his family and everyone that loves him, it breaks their heart that he's in prison and they want to be reunited with their family member. But what kind of courage does it take to say something like that just before the judge hands you down a 20-year prison sentence, knowing that if you had just been compliant with the judge, you probably could have got something much less. I certainly don't want Jason to go to prison. I certainly want him to be out of there, but I admire what he did. It took a lot of courage for him to do what he did. I didn't realize that he don't regret it. And when he talked about being in prison yesterday, a lot of prisoners will tell you how horrific prison life is. Jason, on the other hand, tells us that he considers it somewhat of a blessing. And, because he's able to use this time, to study and to learn. And I don't think he wants to be in prison, and none of us do, but he certainly didn't give the typical prisoner answer about how hard it is. He seems to be a very rare individual with a lot of courage, a lot of fortitude, a lot of constitution. We need to get him, witnessed. We need to witness to him and win him over to the Lord. But I really respect Jason Gerhard. So I wanted to get that out. God bless every one of you. Have a great day.